Hi guys, this is a quick tutorial on how to use Blueprint construction scripts to procedurally generate content in your level. For this example, I'm going to use the starter content pack and I'm going to use some of these architecture meshes here. First thing we need to do is create a new blueprint. Select actor. Open up your blueprint and go to the construction script tab. First thing you need to do is create a for loop. This will control how many meshes are spawned. Drag out from this pin and promote this to a new variable. And we'll call this number of meshes. We'll compile that and set the default number to 8. And let's also make this a public variable so we can edit it from the details panel once it's in the level. Next thing we need to do is add the static mesh components. And because we only need to access the x-axis on these meshes, because we're going to move them along on the x-axis, so what we're going to do is generate a load of these meshes, and we're going to move them all along like this, and spawn them randomly. So we're going to split this, and then split this again, and then we just need to access the x-axis. So let's multiply the index by the width of the meshes. So we'll promote this to a new variable and call this mesh width. The meshes that we're using are all 400 centimeters long, so we'll use a value of 400 and we'll plug that into the X. Next thing we need to do is set the static mesh components. And we'll create a new variable. And we'll call this mesh array. And let's disconnect that and change that to an array. And we'll get and then add that to the set static mesh node. So what we need to do now is add the actual static meshes to the array here. So let's hit compile and then add 3 new elements. We'll go back to the content browser and we'll select the wall window. And we'll select the wall door. And we'll use the default wall as well. So now we've got 3 meshes in our array that we can use in this blueprint construction script. So instead of getting the first one in the array every time, we want to get them randomly. So we're going to drag this out and then select random integer in range. So now it's going to generate a random number, and then it's going to use that number to grab one of these from the list. So if it generates a random number of 1, it will get this one here in the array. So we need to tell it what the maximum number is, which is going to be the last index in the array. So if we had 20 meshes in the array, then the last index would be 19 and the first would be 0. Let's test this out. Like I said earlier, you can change the number of meshes with this variable here. And as you can see, it's randomly generating different wall meshes along the x-axis. This all looks good. One problem you might encounter is every time you open the level, it will generate a new random number, and therefore the meshes in the construction script will change because the construction script will execute every time the level's opened. So this can be a problem if you've baked lighting or if you just want the meshes to look the same every time you open the level. So I'll show you what I mean by this. Let's save this as a new level. And let's build the lighting. Okay, and I'll just open a new level. Right, save first, and then open a new level. And then if we go back to our level, still seems to look the same. Should have changed. There we go. It's different this time. I'll add a few more meshes so you can see the difference. So every time we open a new level and then come back, you'll see the meshes look different. So I'll show you guys how you can fix this so that every time you open the level, this always generates the same meshes in the same order and will always look the same. So the problem is, what's happening is it's generating a new random integer every time, and then this construction script's executing, and the number's changing. So what we want to do is always use the same random number. So let's delete this. And what we're going to do is create a random integer in range from stream, and then drag out from here, make a random stream. And then we're going to promote this to a variable and call this seed. And then we'll connect this to the max here. And we will make the seed variable a public one so we can edit it in the level. So if we go back, you'll see now the problem is the seed's always using the same, it's always going to generate the same meshes, which is a problem. We still want it to generate random meshes. So the easiest way to solve that issue is to grab the index from the for loop and then add that to the seed and then connect that. Hit compile and save. And if you go back to your level, you'll now see that it's different for each mesh. And if you save that, open a new level, when you go back, it will always look the same. All the meshes will be in the same position. And that means that if you have any bake lighting in the level, that won't be affected either. So I hope this has helped you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.